a very, great team effort when it came down to it. Defensively, just what a day for them to hold this offense. It's a high-powered offense, and to hold them to what we did and to be able to, force that turnover, for a touchdown. And, it started a little bit slow, but when you dive into it a little bit, we were able to stop the run. We put ourselves in position to be able to, defend the pass as well. And then at the same point in time, I think just really limited them yardage wise. Like the way our guys competed, tackled well, got off blocks, did a lot of things really, really well. And then offensively to sustain drives, build momentum, the whole thing that came with it. I do want to mention this crowd. That was unbelievable. And that is, from being in a hostile environment like that. There was white everywhere. I don't know if I saw teal anywhere in this whole stadium. And, just to feel that energy coming off of that, and riding that momentum was phenomenal. Just really, really proud of the way our guys competed, proud of the way our fans competed, proud of the way the whole community and school competed, and that's a good win.
Coach, one of the things that can derail a season is when you let one loss kind of beat you twice.
Yeah.
What did you see from the character of this group in terms of refocusing after the loss, bouncing back?
Well, a ton. And let's just also go back and just talk about, we got in at 4 a.m. on Sunday, and you're jamming all this into Sunday, Monday. You're back, so you're sleeping hardly at all. Then you're back in Monday morning at 7:30. Then you're back in Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning. And this is a grind, even to the point of being in last night, more walkthroughs, this morning, more walkthroughs. Like there was constant movement. And for them to be able to absorb all of that offense is no joke. They had triple option in there. They had RPO in there. They had power run in there. They had the quarterback +1 run game in there. They had deep shots with max protection in there. There was a lot in there that we had to be able to digest and handle. And to watch our guys be able to do that all week long. And just a credit to Coach Hemphill and that defensive staff, and just the way those guys played was absolutely phenomenal. And both sides of the ball, offense and defensively, to absorb all that information, then go and execute it, on a short week like that. Really, really proud of them.
Could you see during the week that there was no kind of hangover from the loss, that they had snap back into it?
I can't say that. I mean, I felt that, but at the same point in time, it was just such a different week. The way we practiced with walkthroughs and watched our GPS data to make sure that we weren't putting too much player load on these guys, because that's an important piece of this, navigating this, is that they had to get their legs back. That was a 90-some degree game we played down there. Offense was on the field for 94 plays. The mileage they put on it was a lot. We had to get our legs back. So I thought, again, Coach Novak and our strength and conditioning staff did a great job with the sports science side of it. And we, from nutrition to rest to all the things we did, it was a full group effort to get, to this Thursday night game day. And I thought our guys did a good job of it.
I think the past 2 weeks you've been tied for leading turnovers in the nation, and now the Thursday game helps that a little bit, but you have the leading turnovers in the nation.
Yeah.
Did you expect Coach Hemphill to bring that style of aggressive play when you brought him on?
Yeah, that's exactly what we felt like. Is that when you go back through his history and the amount of emphasis he puts on getting that ball back, we do it every single day. We keep score of it every single play. That is not anything that we just don't stop talking about, so every single play in practice, was there a hammer or jab attempt, in there? Did we mirror the quarterback's hand? Like everything that we do in practice, every single play through a circuit, every single day is a huge emphasis.
You led them to their least amount of rushing yards all season. What did you see in stopping those run fakes they did so well?
I just thought our guys did a great job. I thought they played physical. I thought we had it schemed up nicely, but I just, the knockback we were getting in the interior defense alignment, and then what the guys on the edge were able to do, there wasn't a lot of room in there to run, and it quickly became an RPO game without the threat of the run, and then became a pass game, and that's where I think we were able to settle in and play some really good football.
Guys are banged up in the O-line. How do you think they did when the replacements came in?
I thought they did great. Josh Toner, I mean, even to the end, like you could see he was wearing it. Like it was a hard day for him. He was beat up, and to watch him pull on that one counter play, that's a major hit that sprung a first down and a big run. And I just thought he did a really good job. And then a lot of the other guys that stepped up did a good job. We just got to figure out, where these guys are at when we come back out of this break here. But, we didn't come out of this unscathed by any means.
It seemed like Vasco's legs throughout the season have kind of made it so he wasn't under a lot of pressure until tonight. What were you able to do to kind of contain him and make it so he felt a lot of pressure.
Yeah, well, so he was only sacked twice coming into this game. So we knew that we had to be able to pressure a little bit, and we also knew that we had a couple matchups up front that we liked. And I think what I was really impressed with as the week went on is when we came back and our defensive ends came in and started talking about how they felt they could attack this guy or attack that guy, and coming up with their own plan on top of the plan that their coach already had for them. I thought was very impressive to me. They're professional about their business here, and I really thought that had a lot to do with it. Them taking ownership in it, our scheme fitting it as well, but then at the same point in time, that execution, based on what they were seeing on film, was something I think that they should be really proud of too.
Coastal's offense in the first quarter was 2 of 3 on third down, and then from that point forward, they were 1 of 11. What were your adjustments that allowed you guys to get off the field?
Well, I think we started to we were dabbling in a lot of different things early defensively, and then I think we eventually started to find where we needed to be to stop the RPO game. The glance routes they were hitting started to show up a lot. Be able to stop the run as well, and then prevent the big play. They went away. They took a couple of shots, and honestly, there was a couple that hit their hands they just didn't convert on, and we got to clean that up, obviously. But, sometimes you just have a day like that. I thought schematically we found our rhythm. We found what we wanted to do. We didn't need to do 7 or 8 things. We found our 2 or 3 that were working at that moment until they were ready to adjust, and they were going to change, and we would maybe have to change, but we never had to really dig back into that bag and find, extra work in there. So I thought our guys did a good job.
Was there anything going on offensively on your side that you felt like, maybe wasn't happening against ULM last week?
I can, I think downfield, I will say this. I watched us make some really hard, physical, contested catches today. There was contact on catches that we did not make last week. That certainly stood out to me. I thought we did a great job with the pressure. When they brought pressure, this was a very different look this week. I thought we handled it well. I thought Zoe did a great job with it. I thought the O-line did a great job with it. We put the ball in places where we can catch it. And then when there was contact, our guys came down with the football. They stayed strong and concentrated, all the way through the end and the tuck of the catch. And that's what you got to do in a contact moment when you're catching the football. And that stood out to me, as something that, they definitely took to heart after last week.
And then kind of just looking forward, you get this first win in conference play, and it's against the opponent in your division. How much confidence do you feel like that kind of adds for your team moving forward?
Yeah, I think it gives you a little bit of confidence. But I think we have to find our confidence in the daily work, right? We just got to get back in here after the weekend here and just get right back to work. That's it. So the confidence is nice. That's really an emotion when it comes down to it. We want to focus on the motion, on what we're doing each and every day, how we're doing it. Are we getting better? Is it things we could quantify and keep score of and keep track of and just continue to get better every single day? This is a long season that has a lot of games left in it, and we're going to call on a lot of people that may not have felt like at the beginning of the year they were going to be called into action, and they will be. So we just got to make sure that everybody understands their piece matters in this thing. There's no innocent bystanders on this team. Everybody has to be active bystanders and active participants ready to go when their time is called. And at some point that light shines on you, and when it does, are you revealed for the work you did, or are you exposed for the work you did not do? And that's just always going to be a conversation that we have with these guys day in and day out.
Between Ryan punting and then George and Ymir on the return game, you guys really won that field position.
Yes.
How noticeable was that throughout this game?
Very noticeable. And we going into it, we felt really good about it too. We felt like our guys were starting to get the catch, onto our scheme, and more of the technique. Kickoff return's an interesting deal because it's not something you normally do. Drop 25 yards, find a guy and kick him out. Like that's not something you typically get to do on a football field. So the amount of, reps we put into it, the amount of work we put into it, is just starting to culminate in some success here over these past couple of weeks. So we just got to keep that rolling.
And then staying in the special teams, you didn't have Noe tonight, but you sent out Lipinski.
What a great job!
How did he handle that pressure?
What a great job! How did he handle it? You wouldn't even know, right? Like you wouldn't even know that he's a freshman in here. You wouldn't even know that he came out and swung it and was confident. And I looked in his eyes before the game. That's what I really wanted to see. I was like, man, we believe in you. As I looked at him, he was like, I can't wait. And there was not even he wasn't faking it. He wasn't thinking maybe, I don't know. He was locked in and he knew he was going to have success. And it was important to get him that last field goal at the end just so that he, could feel what that feels like as well.
throughout this year and coming off a win against a quality team like Coastal, would you be able to say that tonight was maybe the most complete game that you've seen from this team? And if not, what would you like to see in order to kind of call it complete?
No, this felt complete. This felt complete. I think at the end, we'd like to be able to get another first down or two in there. But then there was a respect thing of running the ball and just trying to, keep it on the ground and keep everybody safe and get yourself out of there. But, I thought it was a complete game. Special teams were good. I think, again, fundamentals on offense from blocking to catching the ball, security showed up other than the one down there. But then defensively, getting off blocks, making tackles, angles of pursuit, defending footballs downfield and staying on bodies of receivers. I thought, then our coverage on punt, kickoff, it was complete in a lot of different ways. I thought our coaching and adjustments on both offense and defense and special teams was also complete. And I think, add in these fans here, right? Because they were complete as we went through this day as well.
You mentioned the short week, the kind of crazy schedule, the managing the workload. You guys ran through a lot of tackles offensively.
Yeah.
That toughness, were you surprised at all or pleased though to see that on a short week where you don't have that rest?
No, because I think, again, just going back, we didn't have the rest by days, but we had the rest by the way we managed the player load, day in and day out. So I feel like when we came in here, we were fresh and ready to go. So I was not shocked by that. I think that, our physical brand of football is continuing to show up. And after last week, we really didn't bring it that way, right? And I think that's something we all understood we needed to do. And I thought we showed up and got our pads down and ran through firm foot on the ground, and, ran through a lot of tackles and blocks and everything else that we need to do on both sides of the ball.
And did your dad set the physical tone there with bouncing back?
Yeah, you better go check on him in the training room, right? Because I don't know, he's going to be hobbled for a little bit. Before we get this over with, when Lloyd comes in here eventually, his family's from Tampa, and just our thoughts go out to everybody down in Tampa. That's a tough one, and we recruit in there. We're very, serious about, the keeping those connections open and alive, and I think it's important to recognize that with Lloyd, because his mom and sister are still down there right now, and he hasn't heard from them, so he's, excited to get in contact with them coming up. But what a great day for him, and hopefully they're all safe. But we're thinking about everybody out there, and they just have our support.